Oh my goodness, this intro, so dumb. Anyway, what is up my internet friends and family? I'm Charmx, and today I'm going to be reacting to Harry the Moth by The Odd Ones Out. And I'm not really sure what Harry the Moth is. Is this like a fairy tale or something? A fable? I don't know, but I guess we're gonna find out. Anyway, with that being said, the original links are in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to The Odd Ones Out. And without any further ado, let's begin.
For some reason, everybody thinks butterflies are better than moths. We make children's books about butterflies.
They are. I mean, they're basically the same, but butterflies, they look better. They look more beautiful. It's like saying butterflies are exotic sports cars, like Lamborghinis, and moths are Honda Civics. That's basically what it's like. I mean, sure, they're still basically both the same thing. They're both cars, but one looks so much better than the other. That's why people think butterflies are better.
We use them as metaphors of change. You might be an ugly caterpillar now, but soon you'll grow into a beautiful butterfly. We go into fields and
I've heard people say that. I mean, it is a good metaphor, though.
Frolic around trying to catch them, and some people even have a collection of them. Granted, the people who do collect them do so by impaling the butterflies, but whatever, it's still a compliment. How many other insects can say that they get this much affection? Maybe praying mantises. Where I come from, every time you see a praying mantis, you have to point it out like, whoa guys, look, a praying mantis, and then you just look at it. Anyway, back to the point. Moths, on the other hand, are like the white trash versions of butterflies. Even though moths and butterflies are practically the same creature, for some reason we give moths a bad rap. We laugh at them for flying into light bulbs. Butterflies would do that too if they want to sleep at night. Moths are so attracted to bright light that they'll follow it even if it kills them. You might think that this sort of behavior makes them stupid, but I like to think that this just shows how dedicated they can be. We also get mad at moths for eating our clothes, but if butterflies like the taste of our clothing, they wouldn't hesitate to chomp down on our laundry. Actually, butterflies probably think that they're too good for your clothing. They only eat the fine things in life, like flowers. You hear that? Butterflies think they're too good for your t-shirts.
Butterflies are so much better than, like, moths. They don't eat your t-shirts. They don't fly into the lights. They aren't hideously ugly, for the most part. I mean, they're so much better. Also, as a side note, why are you hating on the butterflies so much?
In Arizona, we have your normal run-of-the-mill moths, you know the type, small, gray. They look like a paper airplane made by someone who didn't know how to make a paper airplane. But we also have a moth called the white-lined sphinx moth. And these moths are like the Godzilla of the moth world. Which, actually, I'm pretty sure there is a giant moth in the Godzilla world. Mothra.
Yeah,
this again just shows how much we don't like moths. We turn them into city-destroying monsters. When will the hate end? I'm sure when they filmed Mothra's scenes in the...
When will the hate end? And every single last moth is dead.
Godzilla movie, they didn't even use any special effects. They just used a normal white-lined sphinx moth. Those things could beat up hummingbirds if they wanted. One night when I was 5 years old, one of these big boys was hanging around at our porch light, cause, you know, moths, they just love themselves some glowing balls of heat. And then when someone opened the door, the moth saw all the other light inside and just flew straight in.
I hate when that happens. What I have found, if it's late at night and you want to go outside for something, it's probably best to turn off your porch light for like a couple minutes before you go out. That way all the bugs that are outside around your porch light will disperse and go to other lights. And then when you open the door to go outside, the moths won't be there. So that's what I've found works the best.
More light? This place is absolutely glimmering! Its fate was sealed as soon as it crossed over the threshold. I don't know what the moth did once he was inside our house, but whatever it was, it sure tired him out. Because the next morning, my sister and I found him on the kitchen windowsill just lying there, doing absolutely nothing. He was probably thinking about the outside world and being with his moth brethren, but he'd pretty much given up trying to escape. Because me and my sister just scooped him up and put him into a jar, and he became our new pet. My sister decided to name him Harry. Now some moths are actually quite hairy, but this moth wasn't hairy at all. So that name didn't make any sense, but we were 5, so it didn't have to. Hey guys, don't get too attached to Harry. We poked holes in the lid, we put leaves and sticks in his jar, which might have been a good idea if he was still a caterpillar, but I don't think moths eat leaves. Do they eat leaves? We probably should have just put in a t-shirt. We thought
That's what I was gonna say. Why don't you just like rip up some clothing and put it in there?
we were taking good care of him. My mom apparently didn't like Harry. She said, I have a good idea. Why don't you take Harry to your kindergarten class tomorrow and I don't know, maybe he can be the class pet there. This is back when I thought my mom had good ideas, so we decided to take Harry to school, because think of how cool you would be as a 5-year-old showing all your classmates the giant moth you captured. Looking back at the situation, having a class pet whose lifespan that won't make it to the end of the school year isn't a smart idea.
Well, it's gonna teach the kids a valuable lesson. Death's a thing.
The teacher probably didn't want to have to come to school one day and explain to a room full of 5-year-olds why the class pet was lying on its back and not moving. So the teacher suggested, what if we release Harry at recess? Now, a lot of kids' movies that have animals in them, the animals usually don't like being captured. The animals want to be free and live out in the wild. Think Finding Nemo, Spirit, Happy Feet, Free Willy. It was common knowledge to every 5-year-old that all the creatures walking on this green earth wanted to live in the wild. So we were more than happy to put Harry back in his home. When it came time for recess, we all walked outside and were excited to be part of the newly instituted Catch and Release Moth program. We were like those people who put beached whales back in the ocean. Except in this metaphor, the whale was already in the ocean minding its own business, and then 2 dumb kindergartners put it in a plastic baggie and then moved it miles away from its home. It was supposed to be a happy moment seeing Harry get rehabilitated into Moth society. But what actually happened was a lot darker. We gathered around the teacher, she opened the jar, but Harry didn't fly out, so then she had to shake Harry out of the
Oh no. It's dead, isn't it? It's dead. Rest in peace, Harry.
jar. We've already established that Harry isn't that smart. Eventually, he finally understood that he was free. The whole sky was waiting above him. He flew upward, wings fluttering, ready to reclaim his moth life. Well, turns out there's a good reason giant moths only come out at night. And that's mostly because of camouflage and the fact that their predators are asleep. Harry had neither of those advantages at our playground in the middle of the day. Not 10 seconds had gone by when a bird from a nearby tree swooped down and grabbed Harry in its beak. Harry was a free moth for a good 10 seconds before his painful, inevitable death. Immediately, the entire kindergarten class began screaming. My sister ran after.
That reminds me of that viral video of some family letting out like some rabbit, and the rabbit like ran away, and then like 5 seconds after they let it out, like a hawk came down and grabbed it and flew away. And the kids were like crying or stuff like that.
After the bird, demanding that he released Harry. Unfortunately, birds don't listen to those sorts of demands. Am I right, Jaden?
Ari, sit. Ari, roll over.
Oh, that's cute.
Ari, stay. No. Speak.
So then the teacher had to give us the talk about how nature is a lot scarier than it is in the movies. Basically, the circle of life involves a lot of death. But on the bright side, we totally made that bird's day. He was just sitting in a tree, probably wishing Arizona had more worms, and then boom, free meal. I wonder what I'm going to eat. Whack. For all we know, that could have been the bird's first time eating a moth. I'm sure that bird told all of his bird friends and they totally didn't believe him. Dude, I just caught a moth. Like one of the big ones, yeah. I know they're nocturnal, but it was just flying around in the middle of the day. No, I'm telling the truth. Dude, there were like 30 children who all saw me. Ask any one of them and they'll tell you I caught that moth. I don't remember what happened for the rest of the day during school, but I'm pretty sure we didn't get much done. When we got home, me and my sister tearfully told my mom about how Harry had met his doom. My mom said that she was trying not to cry, but I think she was lying. I don't think
She's probably trying not to laugh.
she was as emotionally attached to Harry as we were. Harry was only a part of our lives for a couple of hours, but years have passed and me and my sister still talk about Harry. Just randomly in conversation, one of us will ask, "Hey, do you remember Harry?" Yeah. And now a random moth that died 15 years ago will be remembered forever in our hearts. If only Harry was alive to see what he would have become. I want to share with you some pictures I've saved in Harry's scrapbook. Here are Harry's baby pictures. Here's Harry's first apartment. And here's the last thing Harry ever saw. I will remember you.
Is that actually the moth? That's huge.
You remember me. I don't know the rest of.
This is in 2001 that this happened? Wow, that was a long time ago.
This song, so I'm just gonna stop right now.
Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. I had some weird pets when I was younger too. I mean, I had an ant farm, which is actually kind of cool because you can see the little tunnels and stuff that they dig in the house thingy. And that's actually something I would recommend a lot of people try, like definitely younger kids, because it really is cool. I mean, you have to feed them, and that's a pain, but at the same time, you don't have to clean them. You don't really have to do that much besides feed them, really. And it's cool seeing the kind of stuff that they build. But anyway, I hope you guys did like this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend if you're new, and subscribe to the family today. Also, make sure you go subscribe to the Odd Ones Out. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Woo!